guys, this is my foldable flight submission for the contest. I'm using a square paper for this plane. You should use a square paper. You can also use a printer paper square. Anyways, let's get started. First we will fold the diagonals, so this point to this edge, or to the other point. Make sure you crease this as symmetrically as possible. Same with this one. So this point to that point. And then you can fold the horizontal creases, as I've already done right here. So I've just done a part of them. So just fold them horizontally. And make sure that they are perfectly horizontal and not hitting anything. Anyway, you will unfold and do it with this and do the same thing. I'm just gonna go a little faster because it's easy. Okay, now we're gonna make a preliminary fold. So fold on this middle crease, fold on the diagonal, fold on the other middle crease, and fold on the diagonal again. And there's your preliminary fold. Now we're gonna fold this tip to that dip. And then fold this edge to the center, just like that. The same thing with the other side. Now what I would do is, for this step, I would just lift this layer up a little bit and make sure that it also does not wrinkle on the tip. And fold on these two creases that you just made. Just fold them back and forth, and then you squash. And that's the normal base for now. I'm gonna make a petal fold, so fold this to the center. Just making sure that everything's symmetrical. Fold to the center. For both sides. So just make sure that these points are symmetrical, like on the same spot at the other side. And then you can just fold this up on this place and then do the same thing. But make sure that this hits the center crease. Just make sure it's on the center. Fold this down, fold this back up, and now we unfold this and fold this so that it's back to the preliminary base that we all know. And fold on this crease, and this crease, so just on the top 3 creases. And then just make sure that while you're closing it, it just folds on these and does not make any other creases on here. So folded it in, move it to one side, move to the other side. This is basic. Now we're gonna fold from this point to that point, right there. Same thing with the other side. Now we're gonna make the reinforcements for the wing. So now just fold, it's kind of like the frostbite, so just fold on that crease, flatten it down this side, open this up, do the same thing with the other side. Now you squash this so that it's on the tip. Let's fold this up, make sure that it would normally hit this edge, put it like that. and just make sure it's on that. And if it doesn't, then just it's fine really. Just make sure that the end of the fold will be on the center. Just make sure. So this part is really important for the looks. So you need to be crystal clear, and it is kind of a guessing game, so it's a little weird. Do the same thing with the other side. If it's going too big, go a little smaller. Fine, if you found it, then that's great. Crease it, and then fold it back down. I'll just fold the strip to the top right here. You can use 2 points, this point or this point. I just do this point. Unfold, fold this to that tip, and again be very symmetrical or be very precise. Fold this again and then fold this back up. Now you just want to fold along these creases that you've just made, and now just bring them in, and then once you bring them in, flatten it to one side and then do it with the other. Now you want to turn it over and squash these flaps. So open it up and squash. And make sure that you don't move these flaps. It's really important not to move them. Fold this back, do the same thing. So again, squash. Just flatten it on the tip with a stone or something that you can use for folding. Okay, now we are going to sink the reinforcement. So again, you have to press on the point, make sure it doesn't tear, and then fold on that crease that exists, and do that, and then fold that back. Do the same thing with the other side. So unfold, and then just flatten it. Make sure that it does not wrinkle. So it's a little difficult to do them at the same time because a lot of the times it will tear near. That if you don't do what I did, that extra step. So if you do not want it to tear, then you should just do this and be safe. That can tear. If you could prevent it, then that's great, but then it can happen with anyone. Now we're just gonna round this a little and prep it for in a future step, which is a long time after this verse. Yeah. Make sure if it moves, then make sure it's precise. So now we will, if you want, you can reinforce this. So, but then I won't do it. But basically, you have to fold this edge to that line and then reverse it. Anyway, now we're gonna fold the tail first. So we're just going to fold this edge. So basically, that from that point, it can either go from here, or sometimes it won't be precise. So you just have to fold it so that it's a straight edge over here. You can kind of guess, but then just make sure it's straight. And do it with the other side. Now you want to fold so that this edge lands along there. So, or that line. Hopefully you guys can see. Sometimes I have to move it, but anyway, fold this edge to that edge. That's your reference for this step. I'm gonna fold from that point and then swivel it up until it hits that crease. Just check by folding this down. If there's no extra crease, then you're good. Unfold and do the same thing. Hopefully you guys can see. Wait a minute. Yep. So now you can just do the same thing. Okay, now unfold, and now we're gonna work with the tail fins immediately. So we're gonna fold on this crease, the biggest crease, or like the highest crease, and then we'll go down to this crease right there. So it's kind of like the dagger. Just like that. And then hold on this crease, the smallest crease. Do the same thing with the other side. Yeah. Now we're gonna reinforce the tail fin. So you just want to open this up so that it lands on that hinge. Crease it. And now you just want to fold this edge to that crease over here. It's a little difficult to work away from me. So now you just want to squash this so that it lands on that tip. And then this is an optional step, but then you can also fold this down. And if you do, I would like to, for it to look good, just hold from that tip and just imagine that there's a line going through here. And make sure it goes along that crease or that edge right there. Just like that. Now we fold down and then we check. We just fold and it is looking good. Now we will do that with the other side. Again, fold along that and then you just fold this to the edge. Okay, anyway, do the same thing. We now flip this and turn it over. Yeah. So now we will fold this edge to there. So just as you can see, from there to there. Same thing with the other side. Unfold, flip it over, fold that, and then just fold on these creases. Or just reverse fold them in simpler terms. Make sure they're flat and then do it with the other side. So reverse Now I just want to fold this edge to the center. This is why I need to be symmetrical. And again, just massage it down with the stone. Especially on these high concentrated areas. Fold that to the center. Make sure it has a point there. Now you want a petal fold. What makes this a little difficult is that there are these layers and you don't want them to tear, so just fold them. Fold on these two creases. Now you want to try to wiggle the paper so that it lays flat, just like that. Just make sure that this does not crease, and also while you're at it, check if it's on that point. Once you're done, just kind of open this up so that it's on the right place. Or what you could do is you see this, you can just kind of put your finger on there and it will flatten it and do its job a little more faster. And then wiggle this back, and then you should just fold it so that it makes a point with these creases. And if it's accurate, then this will have a point. No shorter, no bigger. Okay, now you're going to spread squash. And the tip is that you should fold this edge to that edge. And then make the spread squash. And sometimes it won't abide to it, so you can just kind of sometimes if it won't just stay flat, so you could just kind of make it fold on that crease and it will automatically work on both sides if you're lucky. Same thing. Now this one's a little tricky because it's on the cut paper, so yeah, sometimes it will be a little bad if you cut it. I'll just do that again because it didn't properly spread. So I'll kind of manipulate. And then make sure that this line is on over there, just in case if it's wrong. Now you're gonna sink these, and this is probably the hardest fold on the plane. So you just make sure that this does not tear. And if it does, it should not be too much. So you want to press on this point, and I would like to open this up a little easily, and then press. Just like that. And if you're good enough, you'll get it so that it doesn't tear. And that now one of the flaps inside, and this will change its position. So this flap just folds down and goes over there. This is what it basically means. So then open this up and sink. See, mine teared a little, but then it's not that bad, so it's fine. Make sure that, and try not to make it tear more. So make sure that's a good point but then whatever at all, make sure that this crease should not tear, or else the lock will be quite bad and it won't really work. Now what you want to do is fold this tip to that intersection there. You're just making the cockpit. Now you're just coming to the easier part, so give yourself a pat on the back. And again, just flatten it with the stone. And if you want, you can also reinforce the wings right now. So just fold this edge to that edge, and just fold this down. And if you want, you can also tuck it in here. Do the same. Fold that inside. And this will be really thick now. So, and try your best so that this does not squash. It can happen. So, I'm going to turn it over and really crease it and flatten it. Now, you can make the cockpit. So fold this tip to there. Fold this along that edge from that. So basically from that tip, this edge should just land on itself. Just like that. Now, you just need to you see these strapped layers, you just want to get them out. So I'd recommend you do this with the layers that there are less layers on that trapped edge. Just get them out, and you can just fold back on that center crease, and also you can flatten this. It's not a big deal. And just fold this back and do the same thing. This will be a little tricky, so yeah. Now you want to squash this. And if you're using a bigger sheet, this will be more easier, but just fold on that. There's really not a big deal. And if you're using a small, like the same sheet as I am using, just a 20 by 20 centimeter sheet square, then if you want, you can also just normally fold like that and it's done. By all means, you could do that. But then if you want the cockpit to hold a little more, I would recommend you use a pen or a tweezer so that you can kind of fold on that edge and then just crease it. And then you'll just get an extra crease once you're done with that. So again, just do the same thing. You can also do it with the nails. Now you're done with the cockpit, and then this is just optional, but then this will make it look better. So just make sure that so just fold from that tip to the center to there, and just reverse that. Do the same thing. And now we can jet forward. So you can pre-crease this. Just fold along this edge. You're just prepping for the jet fold. It just makes it a little more easier. Now you can fold the tail fins and fold the wings. Just makes it a little more easier. Use a stone. Now you really have to use it. Now V-jet fold. And by the way, you can just also call these for the afterburners. Do the same thing on the other side. Call these. Just shape your afterburners a little. Now you can jet fold. And try your best to not make the layer slide. And as you can see, mine was pretty smooth. Nothing slide did. And now we can just fold these up. Fold these two up. So you have the general shape of the plane right now. Now mine, it wasn't that good. Maybe I can fold this just a bit more. So yep. And now just fold these up. And now we're gonna lock the plane. So you wanna put this tab inside that tab. This is a little difficult. Just like that. And now you wanna just fold this right there. Just fold that. So from that point to there. Fold your wings. Make your air intake. Make your afterburners. And there you have a finished Avon. Now I really like this plane for the looks. Hopefully you like it too. Bye bye.